Once again, I want to say good morning to His Excellency Emmerson Dambuza Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Cabinet Ministers from Zimbabwe, and member countries of partners in population and development, heads of population and development departments, councils, commissions, the UN Resident Coordinator for Zimbabwe, and all UN colleagues present, all other invited guests, all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the privilege and honor of sharing a few opening remarks on behalf of Dr. Diana Keita, Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations and United Nations Population Fund Deputy Executive Director for Programs, on this important ministerial conference on South-South and Triangular Cooperation in Population and Development. Globally, South-South and Triangular Cooperation has been demonstrated to improve effectiveness and efficiency of development assistance activities. The SSTC movement gained further momentum after it was designated as part of the SDG 17 on partnerships for the goals in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. UN member states have reaffirmed SSTC as a developmental modality in the second high-level UN conference on South-South cooperation held in Buenos Aires in March 2019. This strong mandate from UN member states is further reflected in their recommendations in the UN Quadrennial Comprehensive Policy Review. In response, in 2020, more than 30 United Nations agencies, collaborating under the auspices of the Office of the Secretary General, developed the first United Nations system-wide strategy on SSTC. For now, most UN agencies, including United Nations Population Fund, have developed South-South Triangular Cooperation strategies to support implementation of ICPD Plan of Action. Evaluative research, including the 2020 UNFPA Independent Evaluation of SSTC, has demonstrated significant SSTC benefits that contribute to global development goals, among them improved quality of results, contextualized solutions, cost savings, and improved efficiency in programming, expanded partnerships, and enhanced international cooperation. There's also evidence to show that South-South Triangular Cooperation has long-term knock-on effects and demonstrable returns on investment. Therefore, it is worth noting that our discussions during this conference will be focused on an important accelerator for global and national development frameworks. SSTC has been deployed as a program accelerator in the current United Nations Population Fund Strategic Plan for 2022 to 2025, as one of the enablers for ensuring that UNFPA remains fit for purpose, agile, and relevant in a fast-changing world. We believe that leveraging SSTC initiatives at different levels of administration will enable progress towards the SDGs and other development frameworks. It promotes achievement of the UNFPA's 3 transformative results, namely 0 preventable maternal deaths, 0 unmet need for family planning, and 0 gender-based violence and harmful practices. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, 173 UN member states and governments represented in the Nairobi ICPD at 25 summit, including 27 PPD member states, made national commitments in 5 areas, namely universal access to sexual and reproductive health, financial resources to finish the ICPD program of action, demographic diversity to drive economic growth and achieve sustainable development, gender-based violence and the harmful practices of child, early and forced marriages, including female genital mutilation, and the 5th was the right to sexual and reproductive health in humanitarian and fragile settings. The Nairobi Summit outcomes provided a global framework for the formulation of policies by the governments. It urged all stakeholders who made concrete commitments to ensure that the full, effective, and accelerated implementation of the ICPD Program of Action and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. They were strongly encouraged to report periodically on the progress made towards fulfilling these commitments through transparent means and inappropriate public fora. As the world approaches the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the adoption of the International Conference on Population and Development, ICPD, Program of Action, ICPD at 30, the United Nations plans to lead its global observance at the 57th session of the Commission on Population and Development, the CPD, meeting at the UN headquarters in April 2024. Leading up to ICPD at 30, there are a series of national and regional consultations planned with a hope to galvanize a strengthened support to further the achievement of the ICTB program of action. And indeed, in this country, the national review has just taken place, culminating and feeding into a regional Africa report that is in finalization. Despite emerging challenges that threaten to derail progress and sideline the centrality of sexual and reproductive health and gender equality in development, the challenges noted so far include the impact of COVID-19, which you've heard a lot about over the past 2 days, and other humanitarian crises, in particular the Russia-Ukraine war that has shifted the donor landscape, and mega trends including climate change and insecurity, including recent events over the last few days, mostly in parts of Africa and the Arab region. I therefore know that this 20th International Ministerial Conference on Population and Development is one of the series of consultations whose recommendations will strengthen the ICPD at 30 review. This conference provides opportunity for high-level officials, subject experts, representatives from development partners, and youth leaders to discuss and agree on the priority actions to be taken to finish the unfinished agenda on the ICPD program of action. Lastly, I hope that the meeting will take on the SSTC lens by looking at how South-South triangular cooperation can accelerate the achievements of the ICPD program of action. Outcomes or recommendations from this conference will feed into the global and regional consultations reports, aiming to reaffirm the ICPD program of action objectives. I thank you.